Good morning, students. In the previous class, we had learned about the index numbers, the definition, characteristics, limitation, and the steps involved in constructing index number. Move on to the next topic, which is types of index number. So, types of index number. In this, we have three types of index number. The first one is price index number. Next one, quantity index number. Next, value index number. So in your syllabus will be studying all these three topics and problems based on all the three topics. So first, let us learn about what is price index number. So in the previous session, we have already learned index number is a statistical device designed to measure the changes that is occurring in the level of phenomenon with respect to time, geographical location, income. Similarly, since we have here price, so it is the price index number are the indices that measure the relative change in the price of articles. You can take about the price of items, the price of articles or items or commodities in current period as compared to base year. So in current year as compared to that of base year. So this is regarding the price index number, which measure what are the changes that is occurring in the prices from the current year as compared to that of base year. So in previous class itself we have learned what is the current year, what is the base year. And this price index number is denoted by the symbol P01, and it is capital P. P01 is the symbol used for price index number. In price index number, we have two types. So whenever we are saying prices, it can be either the wholesale price or the retail price. So I'll use PIN for price index number. So the first method of price index number is wholesale price index. Next is retail price index number. So in the wholesale price index, it indicates the changes occurring in the wholesale prices. Similarly, in the retail price index number, it measures or it studies the changes occurring in the retail prices. And consumer price index number, we have this consumer price index, or it is also called as cost of living index. It is one of the type of retail price index number. Then next we have quantity index number. So quantity index number measures the relative changes in the quantity consumed or produced. So quantity index number measures the relative change in the quantity consumed, produced or distributed. So one place to another place, or from one year to the another year, the quantity consumed will be different. What it is produced also it will be different. Distribution, even that it will be different. So that if we study, we call it as quantity index number, and it is denoted by the symbol Q01. So it should be capital letter itself. Index number what we denote. For price index number it is P01. For the quantity index number it is Q01. Value index number measures the relative change in the total money value. So total money value, we know already what is value denoted by. Value is nothing but price into quantity. So value or expenditure both are same. So value is denoted as price into quantity. So the relative changes that is occurring in the total money value in current year as compared to that of base year, if we study, it is nothing but value index number, and it is denoted by the symbol V01. So I hope you have got all this. Price index number, quantity index number, value index number. The definitions are not asked. You have to only remember the denotion, what it is, how it is denoted. Price index number denoted by P01, quantity index number denoted by Q01, value index number denoted by V01. You'll be having problems based on this methods, not the definitions. So types of index numbers, it is only for the problematic part, not for the definition. You have to remember that. Then this price index number can be divided into two types. So I'll write it as PIN, or just index number you can take. So sometimes we'll take only the price and take price and do the problems. Will not consider the quantity in that. So if we do like that, then we say that method as unweighted index number. So where only the prices are taken. So this method, what I am dividing, it can be taken it for price index number, it can be taken it for quantity index number also. So index number are divided into two parts. One is unweighted index number. So where the weight of the items are not taken. So for example, if we are doing the price index number, then the quantity of the items what we have selected will not be taken into consideration. So that is nothing but unweighted index. So in the weighted index, we'll consider both the price and quantity of current year and the base year. Then this further it is divided as simple aggregative index, simple aggregative index, and simple average of price relatives. So I'll just mention as your relatives. It can be either the price relative or the quantity relative. Again, similarly in the weighted index number, it is divided as weighted aggregative index, weighted aggregative index, and weighted average of price relatives or quantity relative. So weighted average of price relative or quantity relative. Next, first we'll learn about the simple aggregative index and the simple average of relatives method. So we'll be studying regarding the unweighted index. Then we'll go it for weighted index. So unweighted index number will be having it for 5 marks. So the first method is simple aggregative in unweighted index number. So simple aggregative index. or price index number. So I am using PIN for the price index number. So price index number is denoted by the symbol P01, and here the name itself specified aggregative. Aggregative is nothing but the total. So it is sigma P1 divided by sigma P0, and every time the price index number are represented in terms of percentage, so into 100. So this is the formula for simple aggregative price index number. P01 equals sigma P1 divided by sigma P0 into 100. The next second method is simple average of price relatives method. So in simple average of price relative, we have average. In the previous class, I've said there are two averages in index number. One is arithmetic mean, the other one is geometric mean. So we'll be using it both the methods, arithmetic mean and geometric mean. For the arithmetic mean, we have it as price relative. How price relative is denoted? As P. So P01 equals sigma P divided by N. So we are finding out average of the price relative. So average of price relative is nothing but sigma P divided by N. Similarly, for the geometric mean, it is anti-log sigma log P divided by N. So this is the formula for geometric mean. P01 equals anti-log of sigma log P divided by N. So here P is the price relative, which is denoted as P1 divided by P0 into 100. What is P1? P1 is the current year price. P0 is the base year price, and N is the number of items or the number of commodities. Number of items or the commodities. So you have to remember this formulas while doing it. The name will be specified. Depending upon which name is given, you'll calculate based on that. So we'll start with the problems now. First we'll be doing the problems based on the simple aggregative price index number. Okay, now we'll start with the problems on the simple aggregative index number. I've written here two questions. We'll solve it both the problems. So the first question is calculate simple aggregative price index number and comment. So the data is given like this. Items we have up to E. So there are 5 number of items. So what is given in this? N is 5. So number of items are nothing but N. So N equals 5. Then they have given price. It is 2010 and 2011. They have not mentioned it as base year and current year. In the previous session I have said that current year will be the year which is more. So here 2011 is the bigger year. So it is current year. So what is current year price denoted by? P1. So I'll write within the bracket as P1, and base year price is denoted by P0. So price symbol is P, base year 0. So base year price P0. Again current year price, price is denoted by P, and since current year it is given as P1. So what is the formula of simple aggregative index number? It is P01 equals sigma P1 divided by sigma P0 into 100. So that means we have to do the total of the current year price and the total of the base year price. So when we add this 2010 price, which is 20, 31, 40, 16 and 20, we are going to get as, so it is 127, and the total of the current year price 23, 38, 44, 20 and 30. So 8 plus 3, 11, 4, 15. You'll get one carrier, 6, 10, 13, 15. So 155. We'll get 155 and 127. So you substitute in the formula. It is 155 divided by 127 into 100. Then simplify it, first divide and then multiply it with 100. You're going to get 122.05. So how to write the conclusion? Here I've asked compute and then comment. Again in the previous class I've said about how to comment it. So this answer, the price index number, whatever you get, that number should be subtracted with 100. So you'll get 122.05 minus 100 as 22.05. So we'll write as there is 22.05 percentage of increase. Since it is more than 100, we are writing the conclusion as increase. There is 22.05 percentage of increase in price in current year as compared to base year. In current year as compared to base year. So write the conclusion only if it is mentioned in the question, otherwise you need not write the conclusion. Only for the answer there is marks. So if the conclusion comment is asked, you have to subtract the given answer with 100. If you get positive number, then write it as increase. If you are getting the negative number, then write the conclusion as decrease. Similarly, we'll do the second problem. The same question will carry over. Calculate simple aggregative price index number and comment. So the table is given. Items we have up to E. That means what is the N value in this? How many given number of items are there? 5. So N is 5. Then price, they have mentioned already as base year and current year. So base year, what is the symbol? 0. Current year symbol is 1 and price symbol is P. So base year price is denoted by P0. Current year price is denoted by P1. Then use the formula. So P01 equals sigma P1 divided by sigma P0 into 100. So we need the total of the base year price and the total of current year price. The total of base year price and the current year price. So you have to add 20 plus 8 plus 10 plus 29 plus 15. So you'll get the total as 82. And the total of the current year price, which is 25 plus 10 plus 12 plus 40 plus 16, 103. Now substitute in the formula, which is 103 divided by 82 into 100. You'll get 125.609. Since I've mentioned to write the conclusion, subtract with 100. So you'll get the answer as 25.609. So we'll write the conclusion. There is 25.609. Even if you mention 61, it is enough. After point, only two numbers are taken. Since this third number is more than 5, we can increase here one number. So we can write it as 61, 25.61. There is 25.609% of, it is more than 100. So the conclusion will be in terms of increase in price in current year as compared to base year. So conclusion is there is 25.609% of increase in price in current year as compared to base year. So in this one, if you see the previous problem, we have 2010 and 2011. 2011 is the current year and 2010 is the base year. Which type of base year it is? It is the chain base, because the previous year itself is taken it as the base year, so it is nothing but chain base year. So now we'll do problems based on the fixed base, where the base is same and the current year is changing. So I've written the question here. So calculate simple aggregative price index number for 2010 and 2011, keeping 2008 as the base year. So in the question itself I have mentioned 2008 is the base year, and you have to calculate it for 2010 and 2011. That means 2010 and 2011 are the current years. So 2008 is base year. So base year price is denoted by P0, and since there are two current years, I'll mention it as P1 for the first current year and P2 for the second current year. Now how many number of observations are there in this? There are 6 number of observations, so n equals 6. Then use the formula P01. This is for 1, I have used P1 for 2010. So for 2010 it is sigma P1 divided by sigma P0 into 100. Then for 2011 I have changed the current year as 2. So instead of P01, now we'll be using it as P02. If you get confused, for both you can use it as P1 itself. Just you have to mention in the bracket P01 equals the corresponding year, first for 2010, then for 2011. I'll mention this also, how to do it. So now P02 equals sigma P2. So the current year is P2. So sigma P2 divided by sigma P0 into 100. So now we have to do the total of the base year and the current year. Add all the values. So total. So that is you have to add 28, 14, 15, 22, 65 and 30. We'll get the total as 174. Then 2010 total 32, 17, 19, 25, 70 and 36, which is 199. Then the total of 2011 36, 21, 22, 33, 74 and 44. It is 230. So first for the year 2010 we'll calculate. So sigma P1 is 199. So 199 divided by 174 into 100. So 199 divided by 174 into 100, which is 114.36. Similarly, for the year 2011, sigma P2 total is 230. The P0 total is same as the previous one, only the numerator is changing, the denominator will be same. So 230 divided by 174 into 100, will get 132.18. So if you want to keep the current year for both as P1 itself, that time we'll mention the formula P01 equals sigma P1 divided by sigma P0 into 100. Just mention the formula only once, then we'll write P01 in the bracket the corresponding year for which we are calculating. So 2010 equals 199 divided by 174 into 100, which is 114.36. Then similarly for the year 2011, again I am mentioning it as P01 itself, 230 divided by 174 into 100, 132.18. So here I have mentioned the year so that we'll come to know it for which year the price index number is calculated, and in the previous method I have denoted two values P1 and P2 for the current years. I have not used the same thing, so because of that we are using it as P01 and P02. Here P01 itself I have mentioned, but the corresponding year is mentioned. Either you can solve in this method or in this method. The answer will remain the same thing, only the step here it is changing, and in this problem you need not write the conclusion because I have not asked the conclusion, and even if it is asked, you have to write two different conclusions, one for the year 2010, then for the year 2011. Similarly, one more problem is written where the base year is the same thing, 1998. Current year, there are two current years, it is 1999 and 2000. So 1998 price is denoted by P0. 1999 price, it is current year price, will denote it as P1. 2000 is also current year, so I'll be using it as P2. Then we need the total of the base year and the current years. So do the total now. So 12 plus 3 plus 5, which is 20. Then current year price total 15 plus 4 plus 6, 25. And 2000 current year price, again the total of this will get 25.1. Then calculate the price index number, simple aggregative price index number. So sigma P1 divided by sigma P0 into 100. So P1 is 25. 25 divided by P0 is 20. So 25 divided by 20 into 100. Then P02 equals sigma P2 divided by sigma P0 into 100, which is 25.1 divided by 20 into 100. So 25 divided by 20 into 100 is 125, and 25.1 divided by 20 into 100 is 125.5. So we'll get the value 125 and 125.5. I hope you are clear with the simple aggregative price index problems. So only one current year if it is asked, then you'll be having it in 2 marks. If you have like this 2 current periods, then the problem is of 5 marks. Now we are starting with the next type of problems based on the simple average of price relatives. So the question is calculate unweighted arithmetic mean index number and unweighted geometric mean index number. So first see how many number of observations are there. Items are up to E. So there are 5 number of observations. So given is n equals 5. Then write down the formula for the unweighted arithmetic mean and unweighted geometric mean so that it is easier to know what should be calculated. So arithmetic mean formula is P01 equals sigma P divided by N. And what is the formula of geometric mean? P01 equals anti-log sigma log P divided by N. So what is P? P1 divided by P0 into 100. So that should be calculated. So we'll make one column as P. P equals P1 divided by P0 into 100. So price we have 2010 and 2012. So 2012 is the year which is bigger. So this is the current year. So current year price is denoted by P1. And 2010 price is the base year price which is denoted by P0. So we'll find out for all the items what is the P values. It is 29 divided by 26 into 100, which is 111.53. Then 40 divided by 42 into 100, 95.23. After decimal only 2 numbers is enough, don't take more than that. 24 divided by 20 into 100 will get 120. 16 divided by 16 into 100, 100. 60 divided by 50 into 100, 120. For doing arithmetic mean, we need the total of the P values. So add this 111.53 plus 95.23 plus 120 plus 100 plus 120. We'll get the total as 546.76. 546.76. So first we'll find out regarding the arithmetic mean. So 546.76 divided by the number of observations n, which is 5. So 546.76 divided by 5 will get the answer as 109.35. So this is regarding the arithmetic mean. Then we'll find out regarding the geometric mean. To find out regarding the geometric mean, we have to find out log P. So next column is log P. How do we find out log? If you have scientific calculator, you can use that and find out. Otherwise, the logarithm tables. If you have to see it by logarithm tables, 111.53 is the 3-digit number. So 3 minus 1 will get 2. So first it is 2 point. Then see the table value for 11 under 1, mean difference 5. Beyond 4 numbers, the logarithm value cannot be seen in the tables. So because of that, we'll see it, the first 2 numbers, you'll see 11. So the number in the logarithm tables, it is starting with 10, 11. We have up to 99. Then we have the next column 0, 1 up to 9. Then we have one more column called as mean difference. In mean difference, the number are from 1 to 9. So now to see it for 111.53, the first 2 number 11 should be seen it towards the left side. Then under 1, so 11 under 1 will be this particular number what you get. Then the fourth number 5 what we have is the mean difference value. So mean difference 5 is somewhere here. You have to add both the values, that is 11 under 1 and the mean difference 5. And remember, if you have 0 in the beginning, don't add it using the calculator because the calculator will not take 0. Do it manually and write the value. So we'll get after adding 2.0472. If you want, I'll say the value for 111.5. what is the value, how do you add it? So 11 under 5 is, so first 11 under 1, it is 0453. Then mean difference 19. So I have added 0453 and 19. So we'll get 0472. So if you take out the 0 and add only the number, it won't be correct in the calculator. So if you have 0 in the beginning, do it manually. If you have number in the beginning, then you can use the calculator and add. Similarly for the next one, 95.23 is a 2-digit number. When you subtract it, we'll get 1 point. Then you have to see the value for 95 under 2, mean difference 3. Add both the values and write the answer. We'll get 9787. Then next 120 is a 3-digit number. So 3 minus 1 will get 2. So it is 2.12 under 0. You have to see the value, which is 0792. Then 100 is a 3-digit number. So 3 minus 1 will get 2. So 2.10 under 0. 10 under 0 is 000. 4 times 0. Then 120, again it is a 3-digit number. So 3 minus 1 you'll get 2. So 2.12 under 0. So 0792. So now add all the log P values, which are 2.0472, 1.9787, 2.0792 to 2.0792. We'll get the total as 10.1843. I'll repeat how to find out log P values. If you have 3-digit number, so it should be subtracted with 1, so that will be 2. So starting before the decimal, the number should be marked based on how many digit number it is there and subtract 1. So 3-digit number here, so 3 minus 1 will get 2 point. Then the first two numbers should be seen towards the right side, so it will be 11. The third number it should be seen towards the left side, 11 under 1. The fourth number should be seen under mean difference. So you'll be seeing it as 11 under 1, mean difference 5. Add both the values and write it after the decimal. Then we'll substitute now this in the formula. P01 equals anti-log sigma log P divided by N. So which is P01 equals, anti-log you have to write as it is, anti-log sigma log P is 10.1843. 10.1843 divided by N. N is the number of observations. We have 5 observations. So divided by 5. Now divide that. 10.1843 divided by 5. We'll get the value as anti-log of 2.0368. This value should be seen under the anti-logarithm tables. So to see the value, we have to see it after the decimal, the numbers, because in the anti-logarithm tables, the numbers are starting as 0.00, 0.01, we have up to 0.99. So after the decimal, we have it as 0.03, under 6, mean difference 8. So what is the value for 0.03 under 6? In the anti-logarithm tables, so 0.03 under 6 is 1086 and mean difference 8 is 2. So 1086 and 2, when we add, we'll get 1088, and you have to mark the decimal for that. So we have as 2. For this, the number before the decimal is 2. For this, we have to add In the logarithm we were subtracting, in the anti-logarithm we have to add. So 2 plus 1 will get 3. From the right side, after 3 numbers we have to mark the point. So it is 1, 2, 3. So after 3 numbers, so the value is 108.8. So the answer for this is 108.8. So the arithmetic mean value is 109.35. Geometric mean is 108.8. Okay, now we'll start with the next problem. Calculate unweighted arithmetic mean index number and unweighted geometric mean index number. So the items are up to F. So there are 6 number of observations. Price 2005 and 2010. In this 2005 is the base year and 2010 is the current year. So 2005 price is denoted by P0. 2010 price is denoted by P1. Then since we are doing the arithmetic mean and geometric mean, we need to calculate the price relative. P equals P1 divided by P0 into 100. So you have to divide 55 divided by 45 into 100. We'll get 122.22. Then 70 divided by 60 into 100. 116.66. It is a recurring number and it is more than 0.5. So if you have more than 5, the third number, if it is more than 5, that can be approximated. So I have written it as 116.67. Next, 30 divided by 20 into 100, which is 150. Then 75 divided by 50 into 100, again it is 150. 90 divided by 85 into 100, 105.88. Then 130 divided by 120 into 100, 108.33. First we'll do all the calculation, the table part, then move on to the formula. So for geometric mean index number, we need the log P values. So first find out log P now. 122.22, it is a 3-digit number. So 3 minus 1 will get 2. So it is 2 point. Then you have to see the table value for 12 under 2, mean difference 2. You'll get 2.0871. Next, 116.67, it is a 3-digit number, so 3 minus 1 will get 2 point. Then 11 under 6, mean difference 6 you have to see, 2.0667 will get. Then 150 is a 3-digit number, so 3 minus 1 will get 2, so 2 point. See the value for 15 under 0, which is 1761. The next number is similar, so the value is again 2.1761. Next, 105.88, it is a 3-digit number, so 3 minus 1 will get 2, so it is 2 point. 10 under 5, mean difference 8 you have to see. Add both the values, then you'll get it as 0246. Then 108.33, it is a 3-digit number, so 3 minus 1 will get 2, so 2 point. 10 under 8, mean difference 3. 0347. Now do the total of the P and the total of log P. Total of P and the total of log P. So we can mention it as sigma P equals 122.22, 116.67, 150, 150, 105.88 and 108.33. All these values should be added. We'll get the total 753.1, and log P values are 2.0871, 2.0667, 2.1761, 2.1761, 2.0246, 2.0347. All these values should be added. We'll get the total 12.5653. Then use the formula for the arithmetic mean. What is the arithmetic mean formula? P01 equals sigma P divided by N. What is the total of P? 753.1. So 753.1 divided by N is the number of items. So we have items up to F. It means there are 6 number of items. So 753.1 divided by 6 will get 125.51. Then next, for geometric mean, P01 equals antilog of sigma log P divided by N. Then antilog we have to write as it is. So antilog of sigma log P value is 12.5653 divided by N as again the number of items, which is 6. So you have to divide 12.5653 and 6. We'll get antilog of 2.0942. Now we have to see the anti-logarithm value. If you have to see it through the scientific calculator, you have to use the option shift and log. It represents anti-log. If you are doing it by the table values, then you have to see the value for 0.09. We have to see only after the decimal. 0.09 under 4, mean difference 2. So we will get 124.3. 124.3. If you compare the previous problem and this problem, in both the problems, the arithmetic mean value is higher when compared to that of geometric mean. So in 1 mark it can be asked why the arithmetic mean value will be greater when compared to that of geometric mean, because arithmetic mean gives greater importance, give greater weightage to bigger items. Arithmetic mean gives greater weightage to the bigger items and geometric means gives the lesser weightage. So because of that, arithmetic mean is always higher when compared to that of geometric mean. So this is regarding this method. We'll continue the same type of problems in the next class and then with the other methods. Thank you.